Hey Matthias, welcome to the stream. Give me 1 second, we're just setting up real quick. And we're gonna start real soon. Hey Archie, welcome to the stream. Give me 1 second, I'm still setting up and stuff. Okay, I'm finally here. I can do a bit of voice test real quick because I don't know if it's gonna work. Okay, hopefully you should still be able to hear me. I just changed the setup a little bit on my end. Yep, okay, sounds good. Okay, great. Oh, wait, let me just mute myself real quick. So the past 2 streams we've been building Drake's mansion, as you guys have already seen, and I think we've been doing pretty well. It's turning out very nicely. We still have to do a lot of foliage work and whatnot, but I think it's turning out very nicely overall. It is a bit big, like on the lock so far. Hold on, let me get in the game real quick. But finally, I was able to find some of the debug object modes that I want to use for this build in particular. So we have these royalty and legacy debug mode, sort of like landscaping pieces that I wanted to use in this build in particular. So I'm just going to use these going around this entire build, as you guys have already seen from the reference images on your screens. And I actually noticed something from the previous, that I didn't actually notice from the previous live streams, which is there's like an actual like connection between like the house and this room. So we're going to actually do that for this build in particular as well, especially since I'm not really sure what we could do with this space. So there's something like this going on, and I don't know how, but I pretty much like completely skipped it throughout like the initial sort of like designing of the design of the home and stuff. So I think we could just like incorporate it in for now. So it's pretty much something like this. We'll worry about the rest of the detailing and stuff later on. But hold on. I think I have like chat or something set up, but I don't know if it's going to show up on the screen. So it might show up like somewhere randomly on the screen. Hi Jamie, welcome to the stream. Yeah, see, you just send a message, but oh wait, no, you can actually see it. Hold on, you can see like a little text at the bottom. I'm still like playing around with the whole like thing, so oh, that's going to be so tiny. Hold on, let me just fix that real quick, because the stream, the chat is like really small on the screen. Let me just fix it real quick. It's my first time doing it, so it's kind of just like a thing where like you can see 2 chats at once. So you can see like the Twitch chat as well, like the YouTube chat at once, which is pretty cool. Just give me 1 second real quick. Going to change the height and width just so I can just like play around with it, and I think that should be fine if I'm not mistaken. But for some reason the YouTube chat isn't getting on there, so it's a bit weird. I don't know, I need to play around with it. But how can I play around with it if it's like off stream, you know, because then nobody's talking, and I don't know if there's like a test version. But I'm still going to keep this like little box over here. You guys can't see it, but just added like a little frame for like the chat and stuff. But yeah. All right, let's move back into the build. So as I mentioned like earlier, in the last 2 streams that we created this build, I feel like nobody even mentioned it as well, where like there's a little compartment over here. It's kind of like hidden, it's kind of like far away, but it literally connects the entire home together. So this is perfect for us, because I was kind of like wondering like how we could connect it all together. Hi Maya, welcome to the stream. Thank you so much for joining. Hold on, let me get my references back. Okay. So thank you, I hope you are doing well as well. So it's pretty much like the same design for the roofing area. It's like the same size and whatnot. So just going to keep it like this. It's a bit weird for our home in particular, because it looks like really skinny. So I think I'm going to just extend it out by 1. Yeah, the game is really fun, especially since like, I don't know, like I like building in The Sims in particular. So that's pretty much all I do. I don't really like do a lot of like, I don't know, like the clothing thing, like CC and like CAS and like gameplay and whatnot. I don't really like touch that a lot, but I do like creating builds for you guys, just like being like creative and whatnot. That's kind of like my thing to do. But I just really like that The Sims pretty much just like has like so many different like multiple ways of like being creative, if that makes sense. Do like multiple things at once. But yeah, what do you guys like the most about The Sims? I personally like building, obviously, as you guys can see, but I know a lot of people prefer to like spend a lot more time in CAS. A lot of people just like want to jump into gameplay and just like have like crazy storylines and whatnot. But personally for me, I just like creating nice looking stuff, and I feel like the Sims 4 graphics looks really nice. I feel like this is your first stream and I'm here for the first time. Welcome. Yeah, it's not 100% the first time. It's been a few. I had like a few live streams here and there, but I guess it kind of just like considered like the first few ones, I guess. Yeah. Oh, you never played this? Oh, well, I highly recommend it if you want to. It is completely free on PC. I don't know if it's the same on console, but it is completely free on PC if you want to try it out. It is a really fun game. You could pretty much do quite a bit with the base game itself as well. Don't really have to buy any packs or whatever unless you like really want to like enhance the gameplay. But that's like my opinion from a builder, to be honest. Like when it comes to gameplay, it changes completely because people want to do like unique stuff and whatnot. So you might require certain packs and whatnot. But for me as a builder, I'm concerned about just building, you know. But yeah, fairly new to streaming. I do actually post quite a bit of like reels and like long form content on my YouTube channel and my shorts and stuff on TikTok and stuff like that. So if you want, you guys can check those out. But yeah, so this is like the little extension bit that I just created. And as I was talking, I actually extended this little balcony area out a little bit as well. And I just need to do the same for these little fence pieces. And I'm noticing that there's no chat on the screen, which kind of sucks. Actually, wait, hold on. There is a chat. My bad, there is a chat. Okay, but it's like kind of in the corner. Like you guys can see that. Hold on. Once I get it set up, it doesn't really have to be like adjusted anymore. Hold on 1 second, guys. 1600. There we go. Okay, the font is horrible, so I need to fix that. But you guys get the point, you know. I wouldn't necessarily call it a career, it's just a little thing that I do on the side. But I've been playing this game on and off for like the past few years now. It's not something that I like go just like play. I kind of just like go to build and stuff, if that makes sense. So just like pop on, build a few things, whether it's like personal or just like for content, and then just like post it on social media and stuff. But I'll say about like probably like 5-6 years I've been playing actually The Sims itself, not as like content wise, for pretty much ever since I was a kid, to be honest. Like my sister first got into it, so then I kind of like got in with her. So we kind of started off with like The Sims 2 from like so many years ago, however many, that's probably like 10-20 years by now. I was like a little kid. I was literally like single digit age numbers when it came to like first starting out with The Sims and stuff. But yeah, and then we moved on to The Sims 3, and then now The Sims 4. The stream is a bit weird when it comes to the text for some reason. I wish it kind of like wrapped itself around. I'm trying to figure it out real quick for you guys. Hold on, just so it's a bit more clearer. I'm kind of like new to streaming, so it's like not that consistent. Yeah, I mean it is kind of consistent. I started like doing almost daily actually from the previous week, and I'm gonna try to do it obviously starting from today again, once again, just like with a new week, streaming all over again. But yeah, I don't know if I can wrap around this. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm trying to wrap it around so that pretty much just The Sims at the moment. That is pretty much that's like the only thing that I do for like content wise. So I initially started streaming on YouTube, and then I thought like it might just be like a good idea to just like do it on Twitch as well. So just doing like multi-streaming. Honestly, I haven't been prepared for that many questions for a while. I mean, usually they come later on, but thank you so much for making the chat feel a little bit more lively. The chat is low-key cut in half a little bit, so I do apologize for that. But I mean, if it's a long chat, then it is what it is. Hey, Urban Guy, welcome to the stream. Thank you so much for joining again. For some reason, my YouTube chat isn't showing up on the Twitch chat, which kind of sucks, but I'm still going to leave it up. I don't think you guys can see it, but anyway, it doesn't really matter. Anyway, I'm going to move on with the build because I've been talking a lot. Yeah, for sure. YouTube, I think, is definitely a little bit more suitable for me because I obviously like turning it into long form content, and the fact that I could just like turn it into like a VOD on the channel as well. People love, for some reason, I don't know why, well obviously I know why, but like people like seeing like a slower version of me building because they like seeing like the actual process a bit more naturally realistic, and if they want to like know how I did something in particular, it's a bit easier to like follow along, you know. So in terms of like that sense, it makes a lot of sense why people like watching these like later on, or if they like catch the live stream and whatnot. But yeah, I just like wanted to stream it for you guys as well. I think it's a bit of like a nice fun like little pastime as well while I'm just like creating, because if I don't stream it, I'll obviously just be like recording it for like a long form format video anyway, and I'll just like have something playing in the background. So yeah, I have actually wanted to try new games and stuff like that as well, but I have a relatively small channel at the moment, so I don't think it's that realistic to be starting with like any other like content wise and stuff, or like any new games, because nobody would really want to watch that. But I kind of like grown a little like audience with The Sims so far, so just going with that for now. But hold on, I need to fix this little area. But if you guys have just joined into the stream, I just mentioned in the beginning how we've been building this on the stream for about like 2-3 days now, and I just noticed that we have like this little compartment that actually connects this little room with the actual main home. So we were able to just incorporate that right now within the start of the stream, which I think is just like a nice little addition. And it also just like gave me a reason to just add something over here, to be fair. And we're just going to add some extra little like walkways over here on this side. But for now, I just want to make sure that this part of the home kind of just like feels and makes a little bit more sense. I don't know if we'll be moving on into the interior of the home today, but I still want to be able to do a lot of the foliage, because as you guys can already see, it's kind of bare. So what we left off from last stream, which was yesterday's, we basically used a lot of these like foliage pieces around here. And one second. Yeah, so sorry, we had used a lot of these like foliage pieces over here, and I was just like, I didn't want to bore you guys with it, so I just did this side as well off stream. And then that's pretty much it. I didn't really want to do anything else off of the stream, because it doesn't really make a lot of sense if I just do almost half of it off of the stream, you know. Even if it's like the boring bits, still feel like it's a bit more interesting to do on the live as well. So we're going to start off with using these hedge pieces, which if you guys have seen from yesterday, I was trying to find this hedge piece quite a lot yesterday, which was kind of annoying, but we ended up eventually finding it, and I'm gonna just copy it all the way around this entire build. And I'm not going to change the sizing of it, I'm just going to leave it as it is. Oh wait, actually wait, hold on, these are diagonal. Let me just fix those real quick. Hold on, I need to turn my phone off of the battery saver mode. I was going to keep going off. But yeah, I have the reference on my phone just so I can like see it and stuff. Hey Henry Bendel, thank you so much for joining back. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, we're finally back into this build. It's going to be quite a lot of work, but I think it's going to turn out very nicely in the end. Just going to use a lot of these hedge pieces. I think you were one of the ones who were here like early on throughout the stream, so you probably heard me like complaining about not finding these hedge pieces, but we finally found them from the royalty debug, and I'm just going to use a lot of these at the moment. And we're going to cover pretty much the entire perimeter of this entire build with a lot of this. And you might think it might look a little bit ridiculous, especially with how tall these are. We'll play around with the height and stuff later on as well, but just want to like make sure like I got like a bit of like a head start going on here and stuff. And obviously we won't be using the entire lot, as you guys can currently see. We're kind of far away from it, and the main reason for that is because we're going to add a lot of trees and stuff, and we're also going to get rid of that really harsh lining that we have from the terrain textures and whatnot, so you won't have to worry about any of that. What is my goal for my Twitch channel? I don't really have a goal at the moment necessarily. Once again, it's not like a career thing, it's kind of just like a hobby thing to do on the side. So haven't really thought about that. And once again, like my Twitch is pretty much like really brand new, so don't really have any sort of like specific goals or anything in mind. Just want people to like follow along. If they find the stream useful, they can obviously like leave a follow, say thank you, whatnot. But that's pretty much it. I don't really expect anything else from you guys, to be honest. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's like kind of my only goals with Twitch. Obviously I would love to see it like do really well and whatnot, but obviously doing like just the Sims is going to be really limited, and just building in particular, it's kind of just like a little hobby to just pass time. Because once again, as I mentioned like earlier, like if I didn't stream it, I'll just be like recording it like a general video and just posting it for you guys. So just by doing this gives you like two different options. If you want to see like a short form content, you guys can check out the actual like fully completed build version of it that provides a tour towards the end of the video. Or you guys can obviously just like check out these new streams, which pretty much goes by like step by step, showcasing everything. Because you'll be quite amazed by like how many people in the comment sections actually say like, I tried to copy it and it was too fast and whatnot. So smaller, shorter content like this, like slowed down content like this, is going to be a bit more helpful for those type of people in particular. But yeah, if you guys have any suggestions what you guys want to incorporate within this mansion in particular, I would love to know. Just because I feel like we have quite a lot of space to work with, and I have looked at a few interior sort of buildings and stuff like that, or like sort of like interior sort of like stuff that he has in his home, and to be honest, it mainly consists of like a lot of marble, very luxurious features, high-end sort of like designs and stuff. So it's going to be quite a fun sort of interior to do. It is kind of going to be similar to like my existing sort of like elegant type of homes when I like create them with like marble designs and whatnot, but it is what it is, because Drake's home is pretty much like the entire thing is like marble. What is my hobbies? That is a good question. I do love playing like other games outside of Sims, obviously. So I'll just like be playing those, or I actually do really like drawing as well in real life, but I haven't really done it, so I want to get back into it. But to be honest, when it comes to creating content, you kind of don't you don't think about how much time it actually consumes. So I'll like, everyone posts like a short, for example, and it will take them like 2 seconds because like they show their face and they just talk for like 2 seconds and it's done. But when you're a content creator and you like create it for like a game, you have to find like an angle or like certain things that look intriguing or something that's going to like hook people in. Does that make sense? So just thinking about stuff like that is like really time consuming, tedious. It's not like an easy thing to do. You know what, I don't think I want to line this back area. But besides that, I also do really like graphic designing. I don't know if you noticed, but like the starting soon streams or like the screens and stuff like that, or like any of like the animations that you see from like my subscriber animations, my alerts or whatnot, those are all like custom done by me. So I do actually have a bit of like interest and like a bit of information and knowledge on like creating graphic designs and stuff. So yeah, that's kind of like a few things here and there that I like to do in like my hobbies and stuff like that. But yeah, besides that, I don't really do anything else with like when it comes to like my hobbies. I do like obviously like video recording and editing and stuff like that. That's kind of just like fits in with that graphic design sort of thing. So I didn't want to like say that as like a completely separate thing. I'm sure I have like so many other like hobbies and stuff, but that is pretty much like a few of them. Where I don't want to align those there. And I think we're just going to align these edge pieces on this side as well. What is your hobbies? What do you think like you would do quite often that you don't notice? Oh, that's cool. What do you do in particular? And I do, shameless plug, I do actually have a coffee page, and it's not for like donations or anything, but I actually sell Twitch related panels and whatnot. If you guys want to like check them out, I do want to like expand on it and just like sell some extra little stuff here and there as well. So if you guys are wanting to become like content creators or whatnot, I want to just like start posting a few little like guides there, or just something in particular, because I feel like from a smaller channel to a small channel, it kind of like makes a lot more sense. I feel like a lot of big channels, they try to make like guides or whatnot for like how people like can like grow a page and whatnot, and it's like not really that realistic. They expect so much things from you. Yeah, you can drop me a DM, I don't mind. We're just gonna use a lot of these hedges around the edge of this building. I was kind of like confused if I wanted to leave like a tile gap here from yesterday's stream. I was thinking like maybe we can add a little bit more space there, but I'm not sure. You guys can let me know what you guys think, and then we could just like move it around. It's not really that big of a deal, to be honest. Yeah, so I just saw your previous message that you sent. I actually do create my own like logo banners and overlays and stuff like that as well, and I pretty much just like turn them into like a little shop, so if people want to buy them they can. Obviously they're relatively limited right now. They're not, I don't have like a big selection because I'm just like fairly new to it, but that's pretty much it. Like I don't really like have a lot right now, so that's the main reason why I haven't really been promoting it actually either, because there's not really that much to do. Like if you're opening like a little shop, I mean, it doesn't really make a lot of sense to just promote free things, you know? Yeah, I wonder what we're going to do for this back end area. I'm noticing that in the real life home, it is completely covered in hedges. Do you guys think we should do the same? I think you guys can see from the reference image that I have on the top left of the screen. So just like, kind of looks a little bit tight, you know, like I don't know if I want to use a bunch of hedges along the edge of this lot. Can make it feel a little bit too claustrophobic, you know, especially when it's like right next to where we have the pool. It's gonna look a little bit weird. We could move it back a little bit with the tool mod actually as well, but I'm not sure. Like we'll just like figure it out as we go, to be honest. Well, you know, might as well just do it and then try it, see how it goes, and if we don't like it, we'll just end up changing it. But yeah, I hope all the audio levels and stuff are all the same and stuff from yesterday's stream, because I did end up changing a few things because I was just like trying to set the stream up a little bit more properly this time. The few other streams it was just a bit like kind of like quickly done, if that makes sense. So just like added a bit more extra like detail here and there to the stream, just like trying to enhance its like quality and whatnot. Which socials do you use mostly? I use, when it comes to posting or like sharing content in particular, it's obviously TikTok and Instagram. I do obviously use YouTube the most, obviously, but besides that, it's always Instagram, pretty much my go-to. Instagram, really. What have I learned about this game? You need a lot of patience if you like this game. If you like anything good in this game, like if you want a good character, you have to spend a lot of time creating it. If you want a good house, you need to spend a lot of time and detail, putting all of the effort to like make it look good, you know? It's not something that could be executed quickly, so it's just a whole process, you know? Like right now it looks ridiculous, but in like a few more hours it will look completely different. But yeah, definitely The Sims is not something where like you want to like rush it. It's kind of like a more chill out game, if that makes sense, which is quite weird because in my off time, like as I mentioned earlier, I play like other games and stuff as like a hobby. I actually play very competitive games, so like I play League, I play Valorant, and those are way different from like this type of content, and it's kind of like nice, to be honest, because you get to change between the two. So they're two completely different vibes, you know, when it comes to gameplay and stuff. So just depends on my mood, to be honest, if I want to like do something in particular. But if I know I want to post content, obviously I'll just immediately just like start The Sims and just play and whatnot and just start creating content. You know, it'd be really nice if we just lowered these hedge pieces a little bit, because I don't think having them all on the same line is going to look, it's going to look like a really huge box of greenery, you know, and we don't want that. So we're going to change that up in a bit. Yeah, okay, thank you for letting me know. I will look after the stream. I won't do it right now because obviously I'm streaming, but I'll make sure to check out later on. So thank you for that. But yeah, just gonna add all of these hedges along the edge. And to be honest, these hedge pieces, if you guys don't have the royalty pack, it's literally just the hedges that came from the Get Together expansion pack, and it's kind of just like all stacked up together, so it's not really that special. But yeah, Drake actually has a really huge sort of TV unit area right in the center where he has his pool area, but we don't really have a lot of space on that end unless we want to move the swimming pool a little bit, which I don't mind doing, to be honest. Like if we get rid of a few of these tiles, and then we just push this out by like 3, something like that, and then it just gives a bit more space for us to just play around with, because I feel like it was a little bit too claustrophobic right close towards the edge of the lot. Wasn't really going to be that sort of like creative to like play around with, you know. Louise, thank you so much for that. I really do appreciate your comment. Thank you so much. Welcome to the stream and channel. I guess you are fairly new around here. Obviously, you've seen what I've done, so thanks so much for the support. I really do appreciate it. But yeah, still fairly new to streaming. Just showcasing like the small, slower progresses, because people like seeing a bit more of like a detailed version of it, if that makes sense. And I feel like this is like the best way to offer that. And let's just change the swimming pool color real quick, because I've not really done that. And I feel like something that is really important that I feel like people don't really do in this game is change the wallpapers and the flooring, which makes a big difference. You know what, this chat thingy on the screen is just taking up a little bit too much space. I'll work on fixing the chat thing for next time, especially since it doesn't even showcase my YouTube comments on it, which is a bit annoying. But I'm gonna change the flooring as well, because see, it just makes such a big difference, you know, just like making it kind of like that aqua green color. And if you notice in the image, wait, I don't know if you guys can actually see in the image that I provided, but there's like a little staircase that leads down into the pool area, which is kind of cool. So I've actually shown how to do this before, but I still want to do it right now real quick, because I think a lot of you guys would like it. My biggest hate when building our roofs. See, that is a great thing, because I've actually mentioned that in my 2 previous builds, or 2 previous streams actually, where like people really don't like building hold on, I need to lower this music down because it's kind of making me confused with what I want to say. But I basically mentioned how like, you see how, wait, I'm getting back into the game real quick, hold on. You see how like this type of home in particular has like these standalone roof pieces. I feel like people hate doing custom roof designs, and I pretty much showcased how to do it like really slowly, just by like basically just like a tutorial in my previous stream. So if you want to check that out, I highly recommend you guys too. But yeah, I feel like a lot of people in the community definitely do hate creating roofs and stuff like that for their builds, which I 100% agree with, especially if you have like a really unique looking exterior. It can get a bit tricky, so I don't blame you honestly. But personally for me, I kind of like it the way it like works, to be honest. It's better than like the way it works in like Sims 2 and Sims 3 in my opinion, like with those like custom roof pieces that are like really automatic. they're not custom at all, to be honest. They're like really automatic and random, which I actually hate so much. Which is pretty much why The Sims 4 is perfect for building, obviously. But yeah, I definitely do understand why you don't like building roofs in The Sims. And to be honest, I pretty much always crash when I do my roofs for some reason. I mean, it was kind of like an issue long ago. I don't really have that issue anymore. But yeah, they can be very annoying to work with. But yeah, I'm just going to use these little coffee tables from... which pack was this from? The Dream Home Decorator game pack. Hey Kemi, welcome to the stream. Thank you so much for joining. Once again, just using these Dream Home Decorator coffee tables. I kind of lost what I was saying earlier with like the roofing, but just to summarize, people hate building roofs in The Sims, and we all agree. I agree as well. I mean, I don't really mind it. I don't hate it. It's kind of like the fun of like building, in my opinion. Bit of trial and error here and there. So, you know, I should have started with the top part. So I'm gonna do that real quick. Oh yeah, rounded rooms, and you're talking about my nightmare right now, because I don't know if you've seen it, but I actually created a really huge mansion with like a few curved walls around the entire home. You know, it's not like the entire home is curved, just in certain areas. And I'm just like, how am I supposed to connect all this together with roofing? You know, like the circular rooms and flooring and whatnot are already buggy enough, and just like all of like that complex roofing on top is already just going to be very annoying. So I 100% get where you're coming from. Yeah, if it's a circular room, I just use one of those like default like, you know, that like circular sort of like roof design thingy. I don't know what it's called actually, hold on, completely forgot. This thingy, like I would use one of these perfectly. Like this one is kind of like fine, but even this sometimes doesn't even work. So then you just have to like extend the eaves out a bit and whatnot, and just like play around with it just to get like a nice little shape, which that is the main reason why it's really annoying to work with those like curved walls and whatnot. But yeah, just using a lot of these coffee tables, just stacking them one by one. And the reason why I actually like using the coffee tables from Dream Home Decorator in particular is because you see how they connect very nicely together. I only need to use one. I only need to like move one of these, since they're all connected, into the area. So there you go. It's just like a nice little perfect little area for the staircase. But yeah, sometimes when I talk, I might fumble my words a little bit because I get a bit too excited about the topic. So I do apologize for that, but I will try to like reiterate myself and like try to explain it a little bit more clearly. But yeah, just like raising these up just so you guys don't see the like the little legs and stuff, so it looks like a proper little ladder. I watch your work. Oh, that's so nice, thanks so much. But please don't miss your work for this stream. It will be uploaded on the channel, so you can always refer back to it. You guys can always watch back to it, and yeah, it will always remain up there if there's no issues with it. Hey, and what's up? Thank you so much for coming on the live. Yeah, I saw your comment on my last stream, so thank you so much. I'm glad that you can make it to this one. And happy Friday to all of you guys as well for watching. Thanks so much for tuning in on this Friday afternoon, evening, morning, wherever you guys are. I know most of my viewers are from the US, so you know, just have to say every single term, you know, just like morning, afternoon, evening, because I have no clue where people are from. But for me, it's pretty much like nighttime. I should probably be asleep, but right now playing The Sims, which is very relatable. But you know, it's like the chill hour zones, you know, just gotta play and just like chill out with you guys. I think Sims should allow multiple levels, 100%. That would make life so much easier, you know, with like all these custom staircases and whatnot. Oh, Kemi, we're from the same place. No way, nice. So it's probably late for you as well. It's 11 p.m. It's 11 p.m, right? Yeah, 11:17. Oh, Louise, you're from the UK as well? Okay. I have my UK family with me. I like that. I like that. Okay. You know what? Because I've been crowded by a lot of people from the US for a while now, so it's great to see a few familiar faces, you know, metaphorically, if that makes sense. But yeah, you guys see the vision, like you see how it turned out. I think it looks pretty cool. Like, I know there's like a little bit of a gap beneath, but it's, you know, it's not that big of a deal. It's not that deep. And obviously we're gonna make it look so much nicer. You know what, this pool looks so huge and ridiculous, but it's exactly what it is in real life, so you know, got to stick to the original design. But yeah, multi-story pools would have been very nice. Like, even if they incorporate like a slanted sort of like slope, if that makes sense, so it kind of looks like a deep end, shallow end and whatnot, that would be a really cool idea. But I feel like, I mean, come on, we got like a stairs update 10 years later. I don't think they're going to be adding something like that soon, but one could wish, you know. I want to add that little the little TV unit area. You know what, guys, this is going to look a little bit realistic, okay? I mean, unrealistic and kind of like ridiculous, but you guys have to trust the process here, okay? I was thinking we could try to potentially incorporate a TV unit area over here. I know it looks ridiculous, but it is exactly what the real life home incorporates, you know. So, oh, you know what, I can't, because then it's gonna get like the electricity is gonna break or whatnot. It's gonna like break in the weather with the rain and stuff from seasons, and pretty much every single person has seasons, so it's not really a realistic option. But I really want it to be like realistic, you know, like the image. I want to stay true to it. Yeah, the pool is really stunning. It's really nice, but I don't know. Should we keep the electric outside, like the TV unit? I mean, it's gonna get broken anyway, so it's not really that big of a deal, is it? Should we just like not incorporate it? I guess we're not. And I'm noticing that this part of the what is this called? The hedging is looking a little bit like bland. So I'm gonna add a few of these gates here and there. And I'm gonna just do the exact same design that we did yesterday, which is basically just like leaving a one tile gap in between. And the main reason for that is because finally, because I have the debug mode sort of like tools and whatnot, and this like little hedge piece, I actually did this in my Chris Jenner mansion, and I just really love just like sizing this down and placing it in between. It might look unrealistic, but to me personally, I really like this design. What do you guys think? We did this before and I feel like a lot of people liked it, and I think it looks pretty cool. So if you guys like it, I'll stick with it, and if you guys don't, we'll just like end up changing it and stuff. Oh, Kimmy, were you the one who actually said you built this home like long ago? Might have been someone else as well, but someone said that they built this home before, and that's pretty cool because I would love to see it if you guys have any other like recreations and stuff. But it kind of sucks that I wasn't able to get that the chat thingy working, because I really wanted to have the YouTube and the Twitch chat like going simultaneously on the screen, but haven't been able to make it work properly at the moment. Thinking maybe we can do 3 on this side, so it ends over here. Went by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Bit much. Yeah, 100%. I really like the stairs update myself as well. I think it's a really good update, and people, I feel like, definitely they don't actually consider how much time and effort it takes to update a really old game like this. Like there's so much going on. Like you have the whole edit your Sims thing, you have the whole family system, you have the whole career system, the whole like job system, business system, and then you have the royalty system and whatnot. There's so many different like components in the Sims. I feel like it's really difficult to add elements into this game, which is the main reason why I don't like get online and just like complain like, oh, the Sims does nothing, or they lack so many like skills or whatever. Like it has nothing to do with like the amount of effort that they put into the game. I think it's just really difficult to update something that is so old, you know? If they started like a new game, obviously they would add updates like spiral staircases, cars and whatnot in 2 seconds. But because the game is so old, it's not easy to work with like really like spaghetti code like this, for example. So I kind of like understand where they're coming from when it takes like so many years for a specific sort of update or a feature to be included into the game. But what I don't like is when they incorporate a new feature and then it completely breaks like something else, you know? Like for example, these circular floorings and like the walls and stuff, they sometimes break a little bit. Like the little edges and whatnot are really weird, and they haven't really been able to figure it out for so many years. That's the only thing that I don't appreciate. If it's not going to be like fully fleshed out and designed, then I feel like it's not really that purposeful to just place it into the game, because it's just going to cause more problems, you know? But that's kind of like my own personal take on those kind of like small issues here and there. The TV outside would work if you removed the outer wall, but true, I could do that. That is a good idea, but at the same time, I feel like it just wouldn't have that like really nice natural outdoor feeling to it. Like it will look covered up, you know? But we could still try it. I'll actually try it once I add a few of these hedges around the entire place. That'll be a really cool feature of it though, if we can add it. That does actually make sense though, so don't worry, I do actually understand what you're saying. We'll try it out in a second. I haven't tried a celebrity build yet. Interior designing in The Sims is my absolute well. Yeah, interior design in The Sims is definitely very good. Like I also use Blender on the side, so Blender is like a 3D modeling tool if you never use it. And I've actually created like a few fake sort of like interior renders and stuff in there, which is really fun to do, but obviously it takes so much time to just like model something and then put textures on it and whatnot. And The Sims is just like a nice little like quick way of doing all of that, you know? And especially since I kind of like the visuals of The Sims, like obviously if you have seen my shorts and reels and whatnot, you guys would know that I love adding my nice little like graphics and stuff that are like pre-rendered and whatever. And it just makes the look of the homes feel a bit more luxurious and high end. Dude, every time I want spiral staircases, I'm reminded out. Yeah, exactly. Like the circular rooms, they don't even show like what's on the other side of the window, you know, if all of your walls are up. I feel like that is already one of my pet peeves when it comes to like circular rooms. So it's just really annoying to just work with them. And you know what? Finally, we can move these. Hold on, wait. So yesterday, if you guys have seen the stream, I added these little like bushes or whatever the hell they're called, and I kept like moaning on about like how I'm gonna change them once I find these, and I finally did, so we can finally change it. And look at how much of a big difference this is gonna make. Like, yes, these look a little bit more simple, but tell me that doesn't make it look a little bit more grand, a little bit more fancy. Like, look, in comparison to this looks like super overgrown. It looks a little bit more cartoonish. This looks a little bit more detailed, a bit more kind of, actually, you know what, it is detailed. It is a bit more detailed, like the little like individual leaves and stuff like that. I think it looks a little bit better, you know, than this. So we're gonna get rid of all of this. Sometimes I try to over explain and I just muddle up my own words, so if I ever do that, I do apologize, but I will try my best not to do that. But yeah, I would really love spiral staircases in The Sims 4. It would be such like a nice unique feature. And I feel like the best time would have been obviously when we got the staircase update. But if it's not going to come in a staircase update, it's probably never going to come. That's the way I think about it, because there's, why would they just add it out of the blue, you know? If it's not even incorporated in the official staircase update, it doesn't make a lot of sense. And I'm thinking, you know what, we can extend this out like this, and we're going to move these to be like one singular tile. And the main reason for this is because I want these sort of like concrete column pillar thingies on either side, and we're going to add a really big gate here. So it's going to be very closed off, very privatized. As you guys have already seen from the images on the screen, the home is very privatized. So that's kind of like one of the main things that I'm trying to incorporate within this build, since we're trying to go for a one-to-one look and feel. So, whoa, this is huge. I've actually never used this before. I mean, the pack is new, but that is a very big gate. We're not going to be using that. We're going to be using this one. Oh, wait, that's so huge as well. What the hell is going on? I thought this fence piece itself was huge, and now I'm getting faced with these. These are way too big. I don't want something this big. See, something like this is a bit more manageable. I mean, I guess that's okay, but it's still really gargantuan, you know? Were fences this big before? What the hell? It's like I've never used a Sims before. Like, why is it coming across so big? I really like this one actually with the... I used this in my farm build a while ago, which I really liked. But yeah, I really wanted to use this, but it looks so big for some reason. It was... I don't think it was like that before. Staircases would be amazing. I like doing mansion build, so a spiral staircase 100%. I built not trying to promote my own stuff, but I built this like really huge all blackout sort of like glass house sort of design, and it was kind of like a mansion that NS Yilmaze actually toured like a few years ago now. But I really love the build, and one of the main staple pieces of that build, you know, by the way, side note, we're going to go for this gate even though it looks really ridiculous. We're going to go for it because it's kind of just makes it feel a little bit more grand and fancy, you know. But basically, like, he toured this like really huge home, and I was like, you know, I'm going to recreate that in The Sims, and I did. And I think it's been like a few like 7-8 months now since I created it, and it's just like the main staple of the home was a really huge like sort of like standalone spiral staircase that had no supports beneath it. And I really wish we had like a spiral staircase like that. I know there's a few like content creators and stuff who have done it, but if you guys have been a member of the channel for a while now, I haven't used... I don't really use custom content. I just feel like it's not really that necessary for my builds in particular. I tried to see what I can come up with and be creative with the existing tools in the game. Just makes it a little bit more of like a challenge, you know, because it's very easy to find alpha and match CC content everywhere. But and obviously as you guys can already see, like every week there's a rising issue with like custom content and CC stuff not working, breaking games and whatnot, and some people just like change to another like computer or like a whole new system, and then all their CC's out the window, you know. So to mitigate all of that, I just don't bother with CC for the time being. I will obviously create a few custom content builds here and there, but main priority is obviously just like working with the existing stuff since everyone has a bit more access to it. Alice in Wonderland themed house would be really cool. You know what? I don't know if you've seen it, but the Sims 4 actually came out with like I think it was like partnered up Alice in Wonderland kit sort of design thing. I'm sure you probably already seen it and got it, but you definitely could probably do something with that for that sort of like idea of a build. You know what? I'm gonna... By the way, this entire wall is not going to be connected. It's going to stay like this. And you might think it looks a bit weird, but I don't think it looks too bad. Let's try sizing the gate down, Cammy. Let's see if it's going to work. I think... You know what? It does actually work. Should we actually size it down though? Would it be fine? I mean, that's kind of like my issue. I'll just test it out during gameplay and stuff. But then again, it does get rid of those column thingy bits, which is a bit annoying. I wonder if I just extend this out now, what would happen? Yeah, see, it does that like weird thing because it thinks it's like a normal size, but it's not. We could use like debug mode options or like custom content, not custom content, sorry, live edit object modes and stuff like that to like add a few things into the gap and whatnot, but I feel like it's not really that necessary. We'll just leave it as it is, even though it looks really ridiculous. I've actually never like used this gate before, I actually created a few royalty and legacy sort of like castle related builds on the channel if you guys want to check them out. I'm doing so many little promos here and there, but I'm just saying it because it kind of like relates to like what I'm going to say. But I used a lot of like the objects from the pack, but I've never really used this gate in particular. But it's not bad looking. It looks fine. It looks pretty cool. You know what, we can actually leave this like small one and then use a bit of this in between. That could look pretty cool. Your Sims aren't going to be able to walk through these technically, so it's kind of just like a little gate. What do you guys think? Is it a little bit too like invasive? Like, is it too like spaced apart? Is there too much space open? Like, what do you guys think? Should we keep it? Should we not? It's not that bad. Oh yeah, true. That there's also that option, Louise. You can always say, yeah, like you said, can always get like the CC version of it for completely free, and you don't need to bother with like downloading it with money. So yeah, that's a big plus, to be fair. And it probably might even have a bit more objects and stuff in it, which, to be honest, kudos to all of the CC creators, because it is not easy creating custom content for The Sims, especially because there's so much like little intricate details and stuff here and there. I have a few stuff that I've created that I haven't released yet, because I'm trying to make like a little set before I do. But like, just from like what I've done, I can notice how much effort really does go into creating a lot of the content. So CC creators definitely do get a lot of like, don't really get actually a lot of the attention that they deserve, in my opinion, which is the main reason why I actually created a short earlier saying how like it was kind of unfair for the EA to only give CC creators 30%. It's kind of unfair, to be honest, in my opinion. Yeah, like, yes, the CC creators are like not gonna have to worry about the updates and whatnot, and they're going to be stored on like Sim servers or whatever they mentioned, but 30% is still relatively low. I would at least have expected like at least 50% potentially. It just doesn't feel like it's like really kind of like valuing the CC creators, in my opinion. Wait, I'm trying to copy that within tool mod and it's not working. And I think we could create like a nice little L shape over here with the gates. You can add a mini bush. Yeah, true, I could do that. I can add like a little mini one, but I don't know. I don't mind it like this, to be fair. We could leave it like this for now. Once again, let me just use a bit of this hedging as well. And I do apologize if you guys aren't like the most interested within like all this like little hedge piece placement and stuff like that, but if I skip a lot of it, people would definitely be like, what the hell is the point of the live stream then, you know? Because the whole point of the live stream is to showcase literally everything, like even like the small little jarring bits that people might not want to see, but you guys want to like skip that if you guys watch it like later on. But I feel like it kind of like ruins the integrity if I don't showcase this within the live streams, because if I'm doing it off camera, I might as well just record it and just post it as like a normal video, you know? I wonder if we should lower the hedges when it comes towards the front area of the build, and maybe we can even lower all of these as well. I don't really mind it, to be fair, like how tall it is, but it does feel a little bit like claustrophobic, you know? It's a bit too tall, so we can work around changing that here and there later on. Yeah, tool mod is so good. Like, I've always advocated it for it, like in my previous streams and stuff. It's very useful, and obviously the better build by mod as well. I just press 1, it just expands the entire catalog. Like, that makes life so much easier, in my opinion. Maybe the only thing that you're not doing is just pressing Control T to turn it on. I mean, it sounds very basic, but some people like might not have like known that, you know? Or you might have accidentally bind it to a different key, I don't know. If you have any other issues, you could let me know. I could try to help you. What the hell did I do over here? I left a little gap for some reason. It's going to be a bit of an issue because then it's not going to be symmetrical. Great. Guess we could just move these over. Well, you know what? We could make this like last little bit just be a bit more extended. We're just gonna add a few of these extra hedge pieces on this side, and the main reason why I'm using the tool mod to copy these is because this hedge piece in particular, if you guys didn't catch it earlier, is a debug mode object, and you can't just copy it naturally, at least not in this version of Better Build By. So I'm gonna have to use a tool mod for a few of these, which is a bit of a hassle, but I mean, it kind of just like gets the job done. To be honest, I can't really do much about it. And I'm noticing that when we look at the home from the backside of the build, we can actually see that there is a few of these hedge pieces over here. So kind of just like is in a L shape. So we're going to do something like this. There we go. And I think, you know, can actually, at this point, we might as well just connect all of these hedge pieces up together. Wait a minute, we got a follower on stream, but it didn't announce it for some reason, which is quite annoying. Maybe you guys have seen it, but I personally did not. So thanks to whoever followed, but I haven't seen anything pop up. Even though I literally focused on making sure that it did, but it still didn't. Gonna have to fix that later on. There we go. So something like this. I mean, it looks a little bit squished. In the real life home, this part of the walkway or like the driveway or whatever is very extended. So it's like a really long path. We don't have any more space left, to be fair. So gonna just have to work with what we got. And I'm gonna do the exact same thing on this side. Let's just add a bit of this dirt around here as well. And there is quite a lot of these like really tall hedges around the front area of the lot, but I don't think I want to do that, to be honest. I think it's going to look a little bit too closed up. What do you guys think? I feel like it's going to look a little bit too much, you know? Even though we're trying to go for that realistic approach, it might be a bit too much, and we might need to call it like a stop there. But I was also thinking that, wait, let me just finish doing this like little area as well. We can lower these hedges as well, because I know they look really ridiculous right now. They look a little bit too tall. So we're going to lower all of these using the tool mod as well. So There we go. So let me just select all this. This is like the last kind of like tedious work that we have to do, which is selecting all of them. I'm not going to lower it too much, just enough so that it doesn't look like it's over towering the entire building. Okay, just by pressing Alt and just clicking all of these individually, it just selects all of them in like this like darker sort of like opacity green color, and that just helps us to just manipulate all of these objects at once. I think we should just lower it by about, let's do -0.2. Let's go like a nice little view so we can tell how low it's going to go. That's not too bad, but I think we could go a little bit lower, potentially like -0.3. So it's going to be like 5 in total, and I think that's going to be fine, you know. Or should we go lower? What do you guys think? You spend more time building or more time playing? Definitely a lot more time building. I spend actually every single bit of it building, to be fair. I don't think I get any chance to play because I just always like spend so much time building to the point where I just feel like I could just spend, if I have like free time, I just spend it playing something else. So I just build in The Sims technically. The only time that I kind of like consider playing is when it comes to testing out the build. So I have to make sure that the build is functional before uploading it to the gallery or Patreon and whatnot. So I have to make sure that it works before. Do you want to, how low should we go? Let's go like another 0.5. How about that? What do you think about that? -2. Okay, so this was -5. Let's try it -2. Oh wait, you want actually like proper -2, right? Not 0.2. So you want something like this? It's kind of like going over the actual fencing itself. Yeah, you like it like this? Do you think it's a little bit too low? No? Are you happy with that? I personally think we could maybe at least do something like this. Hold on. -1. Maybe something like this. So it's kind of like in line with the oh, -0.2. Okay. I was thinking we could potentially do something like this, where it's like in line with the like the actual fence piece, but just like a little bit more taller, you know? Yeah, okay. Let me just make it a little bit taller then, because it's a bit too like, it's a kind of matching. Let me actually go one more. That's not bad. I'm gonna leave it at that, because if I want to change it again, I have to select all of them again, which is gonna be really annoying. But I think that's pretty nice. I think that's pretty cool. Like, it doesn't look too over towering, but it's still like privatized, you know? Hey Archie, welcome to the stream. On the YouTube side this time. Thanks, Louise. I appreciate that. I mean, it was all your contribution, you know? See, this is why I like doing the live streams as well, because people actually like engage and like they can say something. And I tend to like always take people's considerations, even if it's like not 100% my own sort of like goal. I still feel like it's nice to sort of like be a bit more interactive with people, you know? And what the hell did we do here yesterday? Still don't know what we're gonna do around here because it's really plain in the real life home. So we might do the same thing for our home, to be fair, like just leave it a little bit empty, which I don't think is gonna look too bad. To be honest, this entire wall not having any windows is gonna be a nightmare in The Sims, in my opinion. But this is where we're gonna have the basketball area. How are you doing, Archie? How's life? Everything good? Hold on. I'm losing track. 1 second. I don't know if I'm gonna regret not leaving enough space over here for like a walkway or whatnot. But I still I like the way it like looks empty, you know, like because I don't really want to add anything too much over here. And I also ended up keeping like a few of the sort of like sculpture pieces as well from debug mode. Might want to like play around with adding them here and there as well. Oh, good luck, Archie, man. I hope all the best for you. You know, I was actually going to message you and say like, oh, like how's exams going and stuff, because I know it's exam season, but don't want to remind you, you know, if you're going to get stressed out again. But I hope it's all going well, Archie. Let me know how everything goes. Farmhouse, yeah. I can make a farmhouse. I have a few. Wait, you know when you say farmhouse, do you want it in like the farmhouse style, or are you talking about like a farmhouse with like I remember the word in Turkish but not in English, like a farmyard, like, you know, like with animals and pens and whatnot? If you leave it empty, then someone can add their own touch. Yeah, exactly. If they want to like incorporate their own thing, they obviously are like willing to do so. I will try to add a few things towards the front, maybe like a little landscape manicured garden type of situation. We could try something like that, but that's kind of like not really my main focus. I'm trying to get it to be as realistic as possible to like the real life image, and then we could like start playing around with like adding a few extra details here and there. And I actually noticed that his home over here, he has a lot of these. You know, it's funny how these are pretty much like the exact same thing that you can see in the real life home. It's kind of like lined up like this, which looks super ridiculous in The Sims, but... Oh wait, hold on. I just undid all of my work on the screen. There we go. But like, he has like a whole line over here. Obviously, it's a bit more neater, but I don't think that's going to work nicely in The Sims, so we're not going to bother with that. Farmyard. I actually have a build with the farmyard. I actually built recently. You know what? Someone else has actually asked for a farmyard type of like home as well, so I might create one in like a future stream. We'll see. Grand farmhouse, like a luxury mansion. Oh, 2 against 1. Okay, I guess I have to actually create a farmhouse or something like that in the near future on the stream. Maybe I'll create it like after this one. Who knows? If that's what the people want, I'm gonna do it, you know? You know, I do low-key regret not leaving enough space here, because if we at least made it like 1 tile back, we could have added some walkways and added a few like hedges along this wall so it doesn't look too plain, right? That would have looked a lot better. Low-key regretting my decisions right now, but we could just move it. It's just gonna take long, you know? Actually, you know what? Let me move the not that. Let me move these. Oh, they're gonna be, because they're not connected, you have to move them individually. That is so tedious. Should we move them towards the end of the lot, just so we have a bit more extra space around the edge? Might as well, you know? It's not going to be symmetrical with the other side, obviously, but I don't think that matters, you know? It's not really that big of a deal. Okay, Archie, send me examples on thing, you know where. Yeah, I'm gonna just move this back a little bit. I should have done this earlier, long ago, like even in last stream from yesterday, but didn't really want to bother with it, so because I was like, oh, it's fine, you know, less space, less to worry about. But now I'm kind of like regretting it. To be fair, I actually left it empty because we're gonna add like a big row of trees because that's how it is in the real life home as well. But we're in the UK, London. You sound south. I sound south, really? Oxfordshire, okay. Kind of kind of like more towards north. You're pretty much close to London, technically. Really, Archie? Okay, I didn't know you were that into farmhouses, Archie. You never told me about this. I've known you for how many years and no farmhouse inspiration ideas. Come on, Archie. Man, I really wish I had that the chat thingy working. I might somewhere in between the stream or towards the end of the stream, I might stay live a little bit longer just to fix the stream because I can't do it when the stream is not on because then nobody's talking. So how am I supposed to know if it's like working perfectly, you know? Which is very annoying. But I mean, that's the way it works, I guess. Wait, hold on. What the hell is going on? What the hell is going on? What the hell? Trying to center it using the tool mod, but sometimes the tool mod does get a little bit finicky as well. There we go. I think that's as best as we're gonna get, and obviously I need to lower it down a little bit as well. Okay, that's not too bad. 4 hours. It's not too. I mean, it's not really that close to be fair, but it's all right. To be honest, anyone that I've like spoken to, even like if it was like from FaceTime or whatever, from someone from like the USA, they would always say like, oh, I just like sound like a Londoner, you know, like they would have no doubt. Like it doesn't have like a specific other type of accent, you know. But then again, it's like kind of hard to tell when you're like the person speaking, like can't judge yourself when you're talking. Oh no, is there something going on that I don't know about? With the use? Is are you just talking about the knife crimes? Because that's been going on for like, since I was a baby, you know? So, I mean, like the pickpocketing, the phone stealing, the knife crimes, very aware of all of it, unfortunately. It's horrible. But, I mean, there's absolutely nothing you could do about it, you know? Like, it's really bad. To be honest, perfect. Thankfully, I've never seen it actually happen in front of me. My friend's phone has gotten stolen like once, but that was like the only thing I've ever seen in my life within central London that happened in the span of living here my entire life. So, I mean, it's not really, you know, it's not like you're going to come over here and then something's going to happen, you know? It's like really rare, but it still sucks that it happens quite often. But then again, there's like a saying like, just because you don't see it doesn't mean it's not happening, you know? Oh, cool. That's really cool. Do you run marathons or do you like just like this is gonna sound bad, like do you stand in the crowd, you know? Like there's people who like stand in like crowds and stuff in like the marathon, which is really cool. Like it's really nice. They're like motivated and stuff like that. Or do you like actually join the marathon? I would actually personally really love to go on a run. I actually spoke about this with my mom like a long ago, like pretty much like a few weeks ago. But like, it would be really nice to just like join a run or something. They do actually quite a lot of those throughout London, but I just feel like it's a lot of effort. You know, for someone who plays The Sims, it's quite a lot of effort, you know? Hold on, let me lower this real quick. Keep waffling on as I'm just like trying to make this build work. people who are gonna watch the VOD are just gonna keep tapping that skip button, getting over everything that we're talking about. But I mean, come on, it's part of the live stream, guys. It's part of the live stream. But yeah, like if you're like ever concerned about like, oh, if I'm gonna go to London and something's gonna happen, definitely not. Like, don't think about it in that way. Nothing will happen. Hopefully. You've ever been large gatherings? Really? Why haven't I heard about this? Actually, have you heard about that? I haven't heard about that personally. It might be just happening in certain like areas. Like, are we talking about central London or just London in general? Because London in general is already a whole mess, you know, like it's a bit of a mix of everything. Like what I mean by that is like there's a lot of like crime going on and whatnot. So like it could be anywhere around London and I wouldn't be surprised. London's fairly big, you know, like in comparison to like, is it London's, I think, fairly like one of the biggest like sort of cities, no? When it, in comparison to like the other parts of like London and stuff, I mean the UK and England and stuff, so it's kind of like bound to happen. No, I work with St. John Ambulance. I'm an emergency. Oh cool, okay, nice. So are you just going to be like doing some sort of like work over there, like next to the marathon and whatnot, and you're kind of like wondering what this type of situation you kind of expect? I don't really know, to be honest. Like I'm I'm kind of like the worst person to ask because I never go out. So I don't really see or experience stuff like that. So like I try to do everything at home as much as possible. So I can't really speak on that kind of stuff. Like don't really know, to be honest, but hopefully like it's not really that bad. Like it's not as bad as some people say it is. Like yes, a few things might occur here and there, but it's not really, you know, that big of a deal. Like as I said, like I've been living in London for pretty much my entire life and I've never really experienced anything like that. So I don't think anyone coming here just for like one day is gonna, you know, randomly experience something like that, you know. But yeah, like London is like really big. Like there's a bunch of different people in London and there's like, it's just like one of the more diverse sort of cities. So you could just expect anything, to be honest. Oh, right. Okay, I see. Yeah. Standby. I see. Okay. But yeah, no, it should be completely fine. Wherever you're going to be doing or wherever you're going to be, you should be fine. But yeah, I'm not the mayor of London. I unfortunately can't really say anything about it. But from the amount of times that I've been in central London, I haven't really experienced any issues, thankfully. I'm obviously always really aware of my surroundings as well, though. So that's like another thing. Always just like be on your toes, like always know what your next move is going to be and stuff. Like it's not a place where like you can just like leave your door open, your window open, whatnot. Like it does happen a lot. Like there's a lot of robberies and whatnot, break-ins into like cars, houses, whatnot. They don't care if it's broad daylight or not, they'll still do it. But yeah, the stream took a dark turn. But no, London is good, man. There's nothing majorly like wrong or crazy about it with like crime and stuff. Obviously crime exists everywhere, just because like London is like really overpopulated. It's really natural for there to be like a high amount. Like anywhere where there's like a lot of people, it just ends up happening, which I think is completely normal, which sucks to say, but it's the truth. But yeah, I'm really happy that we extended this little area out now, because once we were waffling, we were able to just like add a bit more extra space around here. And a few of these bigger gates in between, I think, are going to look really nice around here. Yeah, see, like, you see how, like, you just mentioned a certain area in London, like Clapham or whatever. Like, I have no clue. Like, obviously, these little other areas are going to be, like, they're smaller and there's, like, I don't know. I can't really speak on them because I don't really have a lot of experience being in these little areas and stuff. But personally, I'm like, I haven't really experienced an area, like an issue like that. But it's really hard to speak on like, oh, like this certain area within London and whatnot, because London is really big. It's kind of like tricky to say like, oh, this area is good and this area is bad. Like, you know, just have to be careful everywhere, to be honest. Like, you could be in the safest sea and still get robbed, you know. Like, you still have to be really safe. You know what could be really cool if we had like a little tree here? We can also add like a little tree over here as well. Get rid of that as well. There we go. What should we add over here? What kind of tree? We could try to use these trees. The thing is, like, I don't want to spend all my time doing the fencing and then just like not make it be functional, you know? Like, if they could just walk through that, then I have no reason for doing this. If you have the horse pipe, do you know how it can go? Yeah, I have seen that. I have seen a I have seen a short about that, which was really funny. It was so weird. It was like a literal horse just climbing up the little adventure awaits little like ladder thingy. That was really funny and cursed at the same time. It was quite hilarious, to be honest. Personally, I never really experienced that. I mean, I've never had a horse and the playground right next to each other ever in my game, so I haven't personally experienced that, which is good, I guess. I've seen it with the dogs as well. Like, I think what they do in The Sims is like the models are kind of like based off of like the actual Sims characters. They just change whether like feet and the paws are on whatever, hands and feet and whatever. So it's just like, it can get a little bit cursed like that here and there, you know? None of these trees are vibing with me, you know, like in this little area. It's actually not bad, you know, like this little thingy over here. Looks pretty cool. What do you guys think? It's a bit of a difference rather than just like having, you know, like hedge, gate, hedge, gate, hedge, gate, you know? It's a bit different. I'm liking that. It's not 100% symmetrical because this one is a little bit longer than this, but I'm fine with it, to be honest. It's fine. It's not really that big of a deal. Yeah, I think it's fine for this build, at least. Let me see what else we need to incorporate within this build. I think we're finally done with all of like the hedging and gates and stuff like that. I don't want to deal with that anymore. So we're going to move on into adding a few more of the like furniture pieces and a few of the gates and stuff. Not gates, sorry. I'm stuck with gates. I don't want to do any of those anymore. We're going to move on into adding a bit of these like patio flooring areas and stuff. And even though this area is pretty much like really squished now, I'm much more happier to have like a lot more space around here, because then we're going to be able to incorporate a lot more seating areas and whatnot. So let me just do that real quick, just expanding this. Just gonna create a little room over here, and we're using a lot of the marble flooring solely because in Drake's home, if you guys haven't seen, in the interior and the exterior is pretty much covered in marble and stuff. So just going with what I'm seeing. And we seem to have another seating area on this side as well. can make it really spacious like that. And I'm thinking, you know what, we can also incorporate the adventure weight playground equipment and stuff around here, since we have a lot of green space and stuff. So could be a nice little opportunity for that. Let me just connect this up real quick. Aligns very nicely, and we could just do the same thing over here. And I think there's a lot of seating area around here as well. So just got to make sure that we incorporate this. And it seems to be aligned, so let me just move this over real quick. And we don't seem to have a lot of like plants and foliage pieces around here. It's pretty much like all very clean and sleek looking, so I'm gonna keep it like that as well. But I think we need to incorporate a few plants and stuff. So I know I said we're moving on from like the gates and the foliage pieces and whatnot, but I just want to add a few trees and stuff, because this area is not going to be left empty like this. We're going to add a lot of different trees. We can add a few of these like American ones. I believe these are like the American trees. They're labeled like that. We could use a few more of like the matching ones that we have in this environment. So we have a few of these. We have a few of these darker ones. I don't know if we're going to find the exact same ones, but I like the consistency between the lots and the actual world itself. So that is way too big. That is way too big. See this one. This is actually a really perfect tree. I use this in all my builds, to be honest. So I'm gonna go for that. I'm just gonna try to like cross between the two. Kind of like how it overhangs over the actual fence area and stuff. And there's a few other trees. You know what? This is actually a very nice tree with like a few of these like white bits here and there. Oh, white flowers, not bits. Let's see what else we got. I don't want to over clutter it, but at the same time, like, it's kind of like the vibe of this build, you know? I don't want to be using too many random trees, so way too big. I want to eventually add like a little walkway around here as well, since we have this like little extra boxed room over here. You know what, we could actually, should we move this one more? It might help with making the home feel a little bit more symmetrical. I moved it a bit too much. So something like this, where you have like a little doorway over here. This is gonna be like the little music studio sort of area, and then the gym over on this side. I'm gonna get this, don't need it. Wait, let me just space these out a bit more nicely real quick. And let me do the exact same thing on this side as well. Just gonna drag these over. I don't think we need to leave this part empty. I think it's a bit empty in the real life home, but for our one, we'll just add it over here. And I also noticed that there is a skylight right over here in the real life home. I chose not to do that. I think this design for the Sims looks a little bit nicer. What do you guys think? This I feel like looks nice for the roofing. But I'm trying to find a few of the foliage pieces. You know what? We could actually add a few colored plants and stuff around these areas. Yeah, they're really nice fountains. Where are they from actually? I think they're from the pool thingy kit. These ones in particular, at least. Yeah, the pool kit in particular. I really like the ones from the royalty pack, but they're just, look at the size difference, you know, like it just feels so ridiculous. It doesn't feel really realistic to be using this, and you can't even size it down because the pool, sort of like the water sizing thingy doesn't go down either. So I think these just look a lot nicer. And I want to add a few color plants around here because it's just going to liven up the space a bit more. These could be really nice to incorporate. I want to add one color in particular. I think we can just add a few of these around the area. Thank you, I'm what's up. I'm still glad you're here, that you're here. I don't know if you've been here for the entire stream, but thanks so much for the support. Seriously. Just gonna copy these all the way around. And you know what? That actually looks really nice with all of the colors and stuff. Well, I say all of the colors, but it's just one color, but it looks nice, you know, when it's just like one singular color. It looks kind of like manicured and well taken care of, which is kind of like the goal that we're going for. We're just trying to place them in nice little coordinated areas. Yeah, the tool mod seriously makes it so much easier when you add like foliage and stuff like this, because if you don't have it, you just need to keep sizing down and placing it over and over, and it just repeats, and it's just really tedious. But yeah, just adding small little details like that definitely did help, in my opinion. Don't want to like mix it up with different colors. I feel like it will look a little bit too busy, and that is definitely not what we're trying to go for this build. I did a better job over here, so I'm trying to replicate that. Just like trying to place it in like random locations and stuff. I don't know what we can incorporate in this like little interior bit. I'm looking at the image and it seems like there is like a hedge piece, and then there's like these little, once again, like these little ones, but they're way tinier. They're kind of like this, they're like really tiny. And I think it's just better than having nothing there, to be honest, so you can incorporate it. And the whole point of this garden is to make it look tranquil, kind of like a well taken manicured garden. And if I feel like if I add too much, it's kind of gonna like take away from that, you know. Once again, let's just use a few more of these around this area, especially since the Sims is like a top-down view build, like game in general, to be honest. I want to make sure that it kind of like looks good from like a far away angle as well. There we go. And I'm looking at the images, by the way, as I'm doing this. So the real life home kind of has like these like pink flowers beneath all of these like hedge pieces, which is kind of like the reason why I went with this one in particular. And let me see what else we can incorporate. You know what? I can actually notice that we have the there's a lot of these like pink flowers going along this area as well. Do you guys think we should incorporate it along this entire row, or just leave it where it is, like over here? What do you guys think? Try it out, but just don't know how it's gonna look. could do something like this, or we could leave it completely empty. Oh yeah, past 12. So it's already the 4th of April. Can you imagine that? It's like we're at the start of the new year and it's already been like 4 months in, which is crazy. Have you guys been sticking to your resolutions that you guys been placing? Maybe you guys placed any? Have you guys even placed any? Are you sticking to them? Yeah, I placed a few. It's just generic stuff though, like working out, just being a bit more fit. And obviously, oh, one of them was actually fix my sleep schedule, but as we can currently tell, I don't think that's going to be happening anytime soon. So, and another one was obviously to post a lot more content, because I've not been slacking, but like I just feel like I haven't really been doing as much as I probably could have, you know, especially for like shorts and stuff. Like potentially like try to post like 1 a day, but it's really difficult to do that when you have the Sims, because like I only do like building and stuff, so it's kind of like tricky to like come up with like a build idea every single day, or like a type of like short sort of design, you know. It's a bit tricky to like, you know, think about all of that, and then you have to edit it and whatnot, and it just takes a lot of time to do that. But I'd say my goals are going pretty fairly okay, besides the sleeping one. I mean, you know, sleep can always wait a little bit, but I know sleep is also very important for like, you know, just like recovery and whatnot, and obviously getting good like energy and stuff. But yeah, those are like my basic goals that I had since like the start of the year. To be honest, I have that goal every single year. It just kind of like resets every single year. Hold on, was there something in the middle of this? Never mind, no, there wasn't. I found with Sims, like I'll play 1 mile and then, yeah, exactly, 100%. Like I'll be building something and I'll be like, oh, you know, I'm just gonna record like a little bit of like, let's say like just doing the garden area for like let's say like an hour max, and then it turns into like half an hour or more, or like an hour extra, and then it's like pretty much the entire day is just spent building. So I try to cut it up a little bit so I don't spend too much time and just like burn myself out. So yeah, just like trying to use my time wisely, even though I do obviously create content for the Sims. I try to make it a little bit more efficient. I wonder if we could just place fencing around here. I know it might look a little bit weird, but that's pretty cool, you know, like having the fencing here. What do you guys think? Maybe even just like in this like little 2x2 area. What do you guys think? I think that was pretty cool. Well, I'm glad it's working out for you, but sometimes for me it just raises my stress level. Like especially if it's using these like half walls and stuff, it just makes me so annoyed. And the last thing that would probably happen that just like annoys me even more is just like a little crash, and then there you go, it just ruins the entire day. And then you just have to think about like, and I can't even reuse that recording. I think it's actually better if you don't even record them, because for someone who doesn't record it, it's like, you know, like you could just like, oh, be like, whatever, I'm just gonna redo it in like my own time. But I record it and then I can't even use that footage because I have to redo it, which is very annoying. This is my full-time job. No, it's not. I'm a relatively small channel, so it's not really that realistic at the moment, at least. But just like creating it here and there just for like fun. It's kind of like a hobby at the moment. I think it's like a nice little way to pass the time while also like making it effective, because once again, as I mentioned like earlier in the stream, like I like playing games and stuff, but like trying to like benefit out from it is kind of like a nice little way to just like cheat that, if that makes sense, without actually wasting time. What can we do? I'm thinking maybe we can do like some fake grass lines around here, but what do we think? Do you think we can like create some like fake grasses? Like some like fake lines. I wish we could just like use like a tool where it like creates like perfect lines and stuff, but don't think it's gonna work for this home. I know I used a bit of green around here, but yeah, Kimmy, I think everyone is just like trying to better themselves, you know, with like gym mindset and just like sleep content and whatnot, but it does get a bit tricky here and there. But ultimately, as long as you like stick onto it, even if you don't do it 100% consistently throughout the entire year, as long as you at least like are in, at least you're in the good mindset to think about giving yourself healthy goals, you know, as long as you're able to do that, I think you can like work in the right direction and like make it work, if that makes sense. So at least we're aware that our sleep schedules are terrible. We know we're not in like the best shape that we want to be in and stuff, and we can just like work towards achieving that. And if you're not aware of that, then it just like puts you ahead. I mean, it puts you like backwards, you know, like sets you back. Took me a while to get that word out. I hate when it crashes. The most recent update. Food. I spent a week doing it. I 100% understand what you're saying, Louise, because it happens to me a lot. As a builder in The Sims, trust me, it happens quite a lot. But the only advice I can give you is, I'll actually do it right now because I haven't saved in a while, but you could just press like the save lot button, because I'm assuming that you play on the PC, especially since you like mods and stuff. Just save it to your local library like this. So see, it just says like save lot to my library. Save new. I don't overwrite it because I don't want it to like overwrite another old version of it. So I just click save new. If you want to save space, you can overwrite it. I just save new. It doesn't really matter. And just by doing this, if The Sims crashes right now and I log back into the game, this is going to be like a very old version of the build. But if I go back into my gallery and then I could just load the saved version, if that makes sense. It's kind of like a bit of like a guaranteed way where you won't lose your build as long as you save it now and then. That's like the only advice I can really give to someone who actually like builds. There's not really like a smart way to do that if you like play The Sims normally, or if you're on CAS. I guess you could save the sim every now and then, but that's pretty much it. Why is there a really big shadow? Oh, this comes with a really big shadow. I was like, what is this really like big patch of like darkness around it? But might have to change that actually. Get rid of that. Could just use this tree actually. Yeah, honestly, it happens to the best of us, Louise. I can't blame you. Like I was working on a really big mansion. This actually happened like many months ago actually, when I built like this really, it was actually before the royalty pack came out. I was working on like this really complex roof design and it literally just crashed as I was doing the roofing. And I think I actually left it in the recording as well, and I just spoke over it because it's like a voiceover from the speed build, and I was just explaining how like, oh, I crashed here and I just resumed back here and whatnot. And just like, yeah, it really does suck, but I mean, there's not really much that we can do about it. I mean, I kind of expect the game not to do that because it's like, you know, supposed to be fully like compatible and working and like not really have any issues, but The Sims has many issues, so you know, gonna have to like work with it. I really want to do a bit of terrain painting because it's looking really flat, but I don't want to waste time doing this because I feel like I don't know how long I'll probably spend like more time streaming today because it's getting a little bit late. I know it's a Saturday tomorrow, but still want to once again stay with the goal of like actually sleeping early. It's not really that early, but you know, for like an adult I think it's kind of fine. To be honest, even for an adult it's not even that good, to be fair. Like I should be sleeping at like 10 p.m, you know, but I really like valuing my time and like being efficient, you know, and not like sleeping. Just gonna do a bit of foliage, terrain painting and stuff here and there, but after I do this we could just move on into something else, probably adding some of the backyard furniture pieces. And then I'll just deal with like the terrain painting later on, because my goal is to upload this on the gallery by Monday potentially, and then maybe on Monday or Tuesday we can start with like a new build potentially on like a live stream. I think that'll be really fun to do, but we'll just see how it goes. If I can't finish it, then obviously it'll be delayed a little bit, but it's fine. Why can't I grab this tree? What the hell is going on? There we go. Always has, but still love to play it. Used to play on PlayStation 1. Yeah, honestly, like I my first ever like, well actually I always started on a PC, but I did have a PS3 at one point and I really loved it. Like I played like a lot of games on it and whatever, but once moving to a PC, it's like really difficult to go back to a console, you know. Like if you want to just like sit down and like, I don't know, like chill out on the couch and play, fair enough, but like when it comes to like playing games properly, I think a PC, you can't beat it, you know. It's a lot better. PC and laptop, it doesn't really matter, to be honest, as long as it's like compatible with like a mouse and keyboard. I know a PlayStation 3 can also be compatible with keyboards and stuff, PlayStation 4, 5, whatever, but honestly after getting a PC I didn't really find a use for like getting like a new console or whatever, or like needing it. I know there's like console exclusive games and like the like handheld like Switch and stuff, but none of it really like entices me enough, to be fair. It's just The Sims, to be honest. Sims for the PC. I'll probably never even consider playing PC. I mean, The Sims on a console, I feel like that would be a nightmare for me. It would be so tedious just to like get like little intricate details and whatnot, and I just feel like I couldn't do it. Then again, I never really tried it though, so I can't really say anything about it. Maybe it's easier to do, who knows. But I do get a lot of comments saying how like, oh, I'm a console player and I just really appreciate you building and whatever. So I guess that means that it's not really that easy to build there. I'm kind of getting to the point where we are starting to add a bit of foliage. I mean, foliage, furniture. See, I'm getting a bit sleepy. That's how you know I'm getting a bit tired, because I start to mess up my words a little bit. I mean, I have been doing that a few times throughout the stream, but when the sleep kicks in, that's when it happens a bit more. I'm going to search up shade real quick, because you get some really nice umbrellas from the businesses and hobbies and the for rent expansion pack. So we're going to go for this. It has a really funky color swatch, but we're going to go for the plain white. And I'm thinking either we could place a seating area around here, or we could place a dining table, like an outdoor kitchen set area over here. Yeah, that is really good that your husband built your PC for you. It's so much better and definitely more affordable, a lot more efficient just to build your own PC, because there's a lot of nightmares when it comes to like getting like a custom pre-built PC. My family's always been doing that, like ever since like we were kids, but once I grew up and I actually understood how like PCs work and whatnot, and you guys can actually like build your own by like getting their own components, definitely is the more efficient and cost-effective way of doing it, because they'll definitely mark you down and like overcharge you for like some ridiculous like horrible specs. So it's really good that you got your PC built for you. I personally also built my PC as well, and I'm just like super proud of it. I just really love it, and I'm still using it till this day. I think I've had this PC for about like 5-6 years now, and it's still running really nice, and I'm just like really happy with it. I mean, if it can run The Sims with graphics on it, like my reshade, I'm more than happy, you know? That means I know everything is gonna work. Like any other game would work. If The Sims works, everything else would work on this computer. The second I notice my Sims slowing down, that's when I know I can't run good quality games anymore. I mean, I say good quality, but like, you know, you get what I mean. It's a heavy game. The only issue I always have with any computer I've got in my life or any phone is storage. I've always run out of storage my entire life, and I'm someone who doesn't actually take a lot of pictures or does a lot of stuff. I mean, I do have like a lot of recordings of like The Sims, obviously, for content, but that's pretty much it. But besides that, I don't really, you know, store a lot of stuff. But it still always ends up filling up so much. These poolside, this poolside kit seating is really nice. Wow, that's actually really cool. I like the seating. I've honestly I didn't actually like it that much when it first came out because I didn't like the pattern on it, but it's kind of like warming up to me, you know. It kind of works for this outdoor area. Feels very luxurious. It kind of has that nice little muted beige tone to it, which I'm trying to go for. But yeah, I really love creating this like fake sort of like outdoor seating area with the umbrella. Feels kind of cool. 100%, yeah. And if you, let's say like one day you wanted to add some extra storage, so for example for me, I have like an M.2 SSD, and then I have 3 different hard drives all connected to the PC, but I connected all the hard drives one by one like throughout the years whenever I like needed more storage and stuff. And it's just been like so cool that you can just like modularize it and do whatever you want. Obviously you have to have a bit of an understanding with PCs to do it, but it's a really fun little like hobby as well. I guess that's kind of like one of my other hobbies as well, but I'm not rich enough to build like 100 PCs at once, so I wouldn't really classify as like a general hobby that I do. But it is really fun. Should we add some clutter on this table? See, the thing is, I like adding clutter to these outdoor tables, right? But the issue is, it's like, it wouldn't be that realistic, you know? Like, you wouldn't have clutter out on your table in real life because it would just get blown away, or just something will happen to it. I don't know. What was I gonna do? What do I... there we go, tray. I completely forgot for a second, but I pretty much always type in tray. And these options are perfect when it comes to like outdoor furniture pieces and even interior ones as well. They work very nicely, but I always use this one from the Horse Ranch pack because it just feels very like cozy, like with the candles and whatnot in like a little tray and whatnot. It just feels really nice. So I do actually use this quite a lot throughout all of my builds. And of course, this like little tray set. Where is this actually from? I think this is this that Booknook kit? It might be the Booknook kit because it has the books on it, but that's only a guess. I'm not really sure where it's from. I can't remember where every single pack is from, unfortunately. It's a bit tricky. But yeah, just trying to make it feel cozy and stuff. Yeah, I can only imagine how much your mods and CC probably take up. I've seen so many people say like, oh, they have like 300, 400 gigabytes of like storage. I'm just like, bro, like, what are you doing? Like, what do you have in your game that I don't, you know? Like, what the hell are you doing with all that space? But and using it all for The Sims is crazy, you know? Like, for me, that's like nightmare fuel for me, like trying to fix that and like clean it up and like, nah, don't want to deal with it. But yeah, the lemonade tray is a very nice go-to as well. See, I already use these two, so I don't know if I could just fit it in, but you know what? Let's try. Let's just keep it in. Why not? And you know what? Since this is Drake's home, and if you guys haven't seen his real life home close up, he features a lot of grand sort of like stone marble textures and whatnot. So I want to exaggerate it a little bit with this backyard as well. And it is a design that I've done in my previous builds as well, but I think it's going to look really nice for this home in particular. So I'm going to place a few of these stones around the edges of this like little patio area. I'm going to change the colors of it a little bit. Just going to add a fire pit on top of them as well. Now these fireplaces won't be functional, in case you guys are wondering. They unfortunately won't be functional because they're raised up. However, I just feel like for the aesthetic, it kind of looks cool. So we're going to go for it. I don't want to go for a black and white because it's going to look a little bit too like monochromatic. So I think we're just going to keep it for this like default color. I think this is like an ash gray color, something like that. So we're going to keep it with that. Use a poolside table and place lemonade tray. Yeah, we could do that as well. I was also thinking we can do the towel holder. I'm guessing you're talking about this one. This one? I actually really like placing towels over here. I know there's towels beneath it, but you know what? Let's do that. Let's add the tray over here. Why is there a little gap over here? I just noticed that. Why is this not centered? You know, like why didn't they think about like, oh, maybe the person who buys this pack wants to center it. You know, why is that not an option? Yeah, the gold swatch. Let's do that. Let's do like a darker gold. I mean, it kind of looks like a brass, you know. This kind of looks like fake gold to me. Like this color just looks so ridiculous. Wait, you want this one? Okay, yeah, I think this one looks a lot better. I think everyone can agree that this one looks nicer. And wait, let me just look at the real image real quick as well, because once again, trying to make sure that it's identical. You know what? I think let's just use a bit more of these umbrellas over here. I was going to search up shade again, but I don't think we need to. Let me just get those sun lounges. Obviously, we're going to be using these ones. See, the thing is, like, when it comes to building in The Sims, like, you get to a point where you use so many, like, you built so many, like, homes in The Sims that everything in The Sims feels a little bit repetitive. Like, you use the same items, same thing, same this and that. And there's, like, only so much that you can do to make it, like, unique, if that makes sense. Which I feel like is where custom content comes in. That's why people love using custom content. But for me, I kind of like the simplicity because I know where everything is in the catalog and it just makes life easier, you know? But yeah, I was thinking we can add a few of these like resort-like looking sun lounge pieces here and there. I think it looked pretty cool. And I would like to add like trays or like tables around here ideally, but I don't know, we'll see how it goes. I just want to see what it would look like if I just pile a few of these nicely together. We could also place like tables in between these if we really wanted to. I like the way that looks, to be honest. It gives it that luxurious resort vibe that I'm trying to go for. And you know what I just noticed? This swimming pool actually goes... There's like a little extra bit of it that kind of like goes over here. That is really cool in the real life home. And there's like kind of like stepping stones in between the water, so you can kind of like walk across. Oh wait, we need to change the flooring for here as well, but if we do, it might... Yeah, see, it already messed up the stairs, but that's fine. I'll fix it before I upload it to gallery. That's not a big deal. As long as you guys saw how to do it initially, that's not a big problem for me at the moment. I can just change that later on. But now we can use this object, one second, this one, and we can raise it over. Now I know it's gonna like it's floating, but we ain't really got any other options, you know. So I'm gonna just place these this. Maybe I'll add like columns and stuff beneath it to make it look like it's actually supported. But right now I just want you guys to get like the image across, you know, like there's like a little walkway over here, and I think that's really cool. It just feels very luxurious and high end. And we pretty much have the exact same design on the other side as well. So I'm just going to copy these real quick. You know, it actually looks really nice when it's a bit more inside rather than outside. So I'm going to actually take these real quick. I'm going to move them inside. There we go. Something like that. Oh, it's so annoying with the tool. But I think that is pretty much good. I think that's fine. Yeah, I really like the way that's looking. What do you guys think? I think it's pretty cool. Okay, what is like one last little thing that we could potentially do before ending the stream? Because I feel like it is getting a little bit late, and I don't want to keep you guys awake because I know you guys are from the UK as well, so I do feel a little bit bad. But and I also feel tired myself as well. So you know, I also noticed. Hold on, he has another one of these walkways on this side. What the hell? How have I not noticed that before? It's like these really small details that come to me later on. You know, that kind of just like gives me the opportunity to just add a bit more extra detail to the swimming pool itself. So let's just do that real quick. You like it? Okay, that's great to know. Okay, thank you. I feel like these look a little bit ridiculous with how like they're floating right now, but we'll fix that later on. I don't think that's a big issue right now. As long as we get like the general vibe across, all good. I just feel like it's really unnecessary to have like these stepping stone things at the edge of the lot when you can literally just walk around it, you know? Like in the real life home. Obviously the Sims won't be walking off over this, but you can also use a few of these tiles around here as well. I'll probably do this in my own time as well, but just adding a few of these tiles here and there. And to be fair, technically, it's kind of this area is not like a perfect square. So I'm going to actually replicate that because it's going to make this build look a lot more interesting as well. I'm just going to take this, move it over. I know it's a bit tedious, but it's part of the process, guys. I'm going to place this over here to seem as if like this corner of the lot is probably not ours. It's kind of like a very odd shape sort of like land area or whatever, you know? Just like adding to the realism. I'm just going to place a few of these hedge pieces. And I feel like this is definitely going to help with breaking apart, like having like a really boxed sort of design for this like land area, if that makes sense. We're going to have to lower them down a little bit as well. And I think we lowered these by 5? Way lower. Negative 0.5. And I think 0.1 now. Never mind, another one. Oh my god, how much do we do? I completely forgot the number. I think it's because we kept doing like a trial and error type of thing. And this one's kind of out of shape, but I'm just going to move it using the gravity tool because I don't want to mess it up. I say that and it still is a bit weird, so let's just lower it again. 0.2 this time. There we go, it fits perfectly. You know what, I like that. I think it looks great. We could also connect these if you guys want to, but I think it's fine without it. We could add this little tree over here in the corner just to like break it up a little bit. It's a really harsh shadow, but it's fine. We'll add a few extra like plants and flowers and stuff around here as well. Once again, just adding a few of these tiles around the edge of this like maybe like a really long tile like this could potentially work, I think. Something to break it up a little bit. I'm just going to move these out here real quick because I know I'm going to use them, but just not right now. And let's just create a nice little seating area here real quick and then we'll just call it a day because I think it's getting a bit too late. So let's just use obviously my go-to seating areas. I don't know if I'll stream another one for this build in particular, but you guys will probably see it on Monday if I do get around to finishing it. And I think we're going to go for this like beige sort of color tone for the actual like wicker seats themselves. And I think I'm going to just make them face towards the backyard area, which I think is going to look way nicer. And I'm noticing how this is like a relatively big space, so I'm going to cut it a little bit. It's a little bit too much, you know, so let's use some accent tables that might be a bit more appropriate for this build. I think we can go for these ones actually. Same design as the one that we got for the other side. Same set as well. I know it's looking a little bit too beige right now. We're gonna play around with the colors and stuff, just trying to get some of the general objects and stuff out and about. Looking good. Okay, like to hear that. I know it's kind of like a rough little design, but we're gonna fix it. You know what, that will actually look really nice here, but nah. See, when I get tired, I can't even think as well like what kind of design would look good. But that could be nice over here. I kind of like placing this on like an outdoor kitchen area though, so might save that for the outdoor kitchen. I'm gonna add like a little coffee thing over here and change the color a little bit. We can also go for a black and white, but I just wish this came in like different color swatches. This is where I really wish we had like a color wheel or just something similar to it, because this is not great. Like I would love to have different colors and stuff going on here, but oh, we can also outline it as well. Hold on, that's going to make a really big difference. 1 second. This flooring from the Get to Work pack in particular is very nice. This one, yeah, I really love this one in particular because it's just very sleek. It's very small as well. There's a few others from other packs and stuff, but I assume everyone has this one, so it's a bit more easier to use, you know. And we can also outline the this outdoor area as well. I think it just like kind of highlights it a little bit, you know. I sound about 25 now. Okay, just aged me a little bit, but it's fine. I newly turned 23, so I want to still consider myself a kid, but definitely not. But yeah, the birthdays are starting to sound serious, if you know what I mean. Gonna do the exact same thing around the pool area as well, because oh wait, no, I can't do it around here because we have gates. Oh, and I completely forgot to add a little thingy over here. Or did I? Oh, I did, but I just merged it on accident. My bad. But yeah, I've had like a few online friends as well, like throughout the entire years, and I would always be like talking to them. They'll be like, "Oh, you sound so much older than you are," and I'd just be like, "Yeah," just trick them into thinking I'm like an old age. But obviously, I'm not doing that anymore because I'm actually older now, so it kind of sucks, you know. Once you actually reach the age, it's a bit different. It hits a bit different. You know what? This could actually be pretty cool. Am I just fooling myself with like having like these outlines and stuff here and there? That could look pretty cool. That's actually not that bad, you know, like adding these little details here. But anyway, I'm gonna leave those small little details for later on for like another stream. "33 still young. You are like at the start of age, you know." I'm not even just saying that as like a compliment. I genuinely mean it. I feel like I've seen, well, as like someone who I feel like I consider myself relatively young, but I see like a lot of celebrities and like a lot of people who like do like obviously like interviews and whatnot, and they always like say their age, and I'm just like, you know what, they're always like starting their life around like 30, you know. So I feel like you're just at the start of life, so you know, just cherish every moment, you know, because it just flies by. But yeah, I think maybe tomorrow I will consider adding these like lines around the entire build. That could look quite cool. Maybe, I don't know, maybe it's just like my tiredness talking, but I'm gonna leave the stream here for now, and I'm gonna move on into trying to fix my chat because I want to make sure that it works for next time. I'm just gonna save it real quick, and if you guys want, you guys can leave. If you guys don't want to, it doesn't really matter. But I'm gonna stay around a little bit, answer a few questions if you guys have any, but also trying to make this chat work because I want it to work for next time. Because for some reason, you guys are obviously going to be seeing The Sims. It's just going to be a bit it's just going to be a bit static for a bit. These fonts are horrible. What the hell? Hold on, wait. I'm going to show the chat real quick. You guys can currently see that, I think. It looks really bad. Like, it's not good. Oh, thank you so much. Have a great night as well. And I hope you also have a great Easter as well. Yeah, just playing around with a few things to get this chat working for next time. I'll probably cut it out of the VOD because it's going to be a bit random. Where the hell did chat go? For some reason my chat's not showing up now. So annoying. I have no idea how to fix this as well because I've never done it before. Oh, that's so sweet. I hope your little girls have fun on Easter and they just like open their eggs. I'm sure you've got them like some really nice Easter eggs and stuff that they'll really appreciate. Do you guys ever do like Easter egg hunting and stuff? I feel like that would be really sweet for like little kids and stuff. I could look it up on YouTube, yeah, but thing is, like, I need to test it like when like I'm talking in the stream. Like, let's say like I say something and like it's supposed to pop up on the screen. Like, it is popping up on the screen, but it's really odd. Like, it's not normal. What the hell is this? This is so random, but it's not working how I want it to. Oh, that's so nice. I hope you guys all having a great time, honestly. Sounds like a very nice plan. And your kids will definitely cherish that moment. They'll definitely remember it. 500 to 800. See, like, chat is pitch black right now for some reason. If I write something, I wonder if it would say anything. Great. I think I'm gonna have to look it up or do it another time because it's not working. It's supposed to work, but refusing to. I could literally see the chat on the program that I'm using, but I can't. It's not like translating over. Still showing up as a grey box. Good question, Louise. I'm not really sure when I'll be live next. I don't really know when I'll be live again. I'm saying that like I'm never gonna do it again, but I just don't mean like I just don't know when I'm gonna actually do it. I try to do it every single day, like towards like these times, like late at night. So around like maybe like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Not Saturday actually, sorry, just like weekdays. Mainly starting around like 10 a.m. 10 p.m. ish. So look, you guys are chatting, but it's not coming up on the screen. Anyway, I'll figure it out later on, but I'll just end the stream here. But thank you so much again for every single person who has watched. Yeah, I'm also, unfortunately, I still couldn't see it. I literally had to look over to the Twitch chat to see it. But it's okay, I'll figure it out in my own time. I don't know how I'm gonna do that, especially if nobody's talking, but we'll see how it goes. Anyway, thanks so much for everyone watching. Have a nice rest of your day, and I'll see you guys in my next video. I was gonna say I'll catch you guys in my next video, but try to mix my words up in between. But yeah, I'll see you guys in my next stream or video, so stay tuned for those. But in the meantime, follow my social media channels if you guys want to. But thanks so much again for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Have a great one. What's up? Bye, Kimmy. Take care.